What if you looked up tonight and saw dazzling bands of light stretching across the sky, shimmering with icy blues, pale gold, and ghostly silvers? Think about waking up tomorrow to find Earth crowned with rings as magnificent as Saturn's. How would your life change if our planet suddenly wore cosmic jewelry? Let's find out. How do planetary rings form? You might wonder how rings like Saturn come into existence. Saturn's rings are not just a beautiful sight, they are a complex system of billions of particles, ice, rock, and dust, ranging from tiny grains to boulders as large as houses. These particles orbit Saturn in a thin, flat disk, held in place by the planet's gravity and a delicate balance of forces within a region called the Roche limit. This is the zone where tidal forces prevent debris from clumping together to form moons. Think of the Roche limit as a cosmic no-building zone. Any object that ventures inside this limit gets torn apart by the planet's gravity before it can coalesce. This is why Saturn's rings remain as countless tiny particles instead of forming a new moon. But what about Earth? For a long time, scientists believed our planet never had rings. That changed in 2024 when Professor Andy Tompkins and his team at Monash University discovered evidence suggesting that Earth once had a ring system about 466 million years ago during the Ordovician period. They believe a massive asteroid passed so close that Earth's gravity tore it apart, creating a ring of debris around the equator. So here you are in 2025, living on a planet that once wore rings, and you're probably wondering what it would be like if those rings came back. It's a fascinating mix of science and imagination, showing you just how much there still is to discover about Earth and the universe it calls home. The sky transforms dramatically. Let's start with the big picture, literally. If Earth suddenly had rings like Saturn, the first thing you'd notice is how dramatically the sky would change. Living near the equator, you'd see a magnificent band of light stretching from horizon to horizon. This wouldn't be some faint glow. The rings would shine with icy blues, pale golds, and shimmering silvers, at least 10 times wider than the full moon. Imagine stepping outside at night and seeing that vast glowing ribbon arching overhead, casting a soft, magical light across everything. Now, if you lived farther from the equator, the rings would look different. They'd hang low on the horizon, sometimes barely visible, much like the northern lights. You might wake up to these glowing bands arching overhead, their colors shifting as sunlight scatters through billions of frozen particles. This constant cosmic light show would become part of your everyday life, inspiring awe and wonder every time you look up. The rings wouldn't just be beautiful, they'd be a constant presence, changing with the seasons and time of day. They influence how you experience the sky, how you tell stories, and how you connect to the universe. It's like having a second sun, but cooler and more mysterious, lighting your nights and shaping your world in ways you've never imagined. Rings' surprising effects on Earth's climate. But the rings wouldn't just change the sky, they'd change the climate too, and you'd feel it. Near the equator, the rings would cast big shadows, especially during winter. These shadows could last for hours or even days, cooling the surface significantly. You might wake up to cooler mornings or notice that certain areas feel chillier than usual. Scientists estimate that this shading could lower temperatures by several degrees Fahrenheit or Celsius in affected regions. That might sound small, but even a few degrees can have big effects. Rainfall patterns could shift, winds might change direction, and ecosystems could be thrown off balance. Farmers might see crops growing differently because the sunlight they receive is less intense. Your weather forecasts would have to account for these new patterns, and you'd probably notice the difference in your daily life. The rings would also reflect sunlight into space, reducing the amount of solar energy reaching Earth's surface. This cooling effect could trigger or intensify ice ages. Some researchers believe that Earth's ancient ring system played a role in the Ordovician Ice Age, one of the coldest periods in Earth's history. So, these rings wouldn't just be a pretty light show, they'd be a powerful force shaping the planet's climate and life. How do you think these changes in climate would affect your daily routine or the environment around you? You'd likely notice cooler mornings and shifts in weather patterns that could change what plants grow and how animals behave nearby. Nights become brighter and longer. Now let's talk about night. Because the rings reflect sunlight, nighttime wouldn't be completely dark anymore. Instead, you'd experience a constant twilight glow that lasts all night. For you, that could mean brighter nights and more time for evening activities. No more stumbling around in pitch black or relying on artificial lights as much. But this brighter night sky wouldn't be great news for everyone. Many animals and plants rely on darkness for their natural cycles. Take sea turtles, for example. When hatchlings emerge from their nests on beaches, they use the dark sky to find the ocean's light. With rings lighting up the night, their navigation could be confused, putting their survival at risk. Other nocturnal animals might struggle to adapt to this new, brighter world. Even plants could be affected. Some species depend on darkness to regulate growth and flowering cycles. The constant twilight might disrupt these patterns, changing ecosystems in ways we can't fully predict. So, while you might enjoy the glowing nights, the natural world would face big challenges adapting to this new reality. Cities and cultures adapt to the rings. Living under Earth's rings wouldn't just change nature, it would transform human culture and cities too. Think about architects designing buildings that capture and reflect the ring's glow, turning city skylines into shimmering, otherworldly landscapes. You might find yourself walking through streets bathed in soft cosmic light, where shadows dance and colors shift with the rings overhead. You'd see festivals celebrating the rings, with traditions and myths revolving around this cosmic feature. Cultures around the world would weave the rings into their identities, making them a central part of how people connect with their environment and each other. Your daily life would be shaped by the rings in ways you might not expect. From how you plan your evenings to how you celebrate special occasions, the rings would be a constant companion, a source of wonder and inspiration. They'd remind you of the vast universe beyond Earth and your place, challenges for technology and society. Now think about how your daily life depends on satellites. GPS helps you navigate, weather satellites predict storms, and communications satellites keep you connected. But with rings around Earth, these satellites would face new dangers. The rings are filled with debris, some tiny, some large enough to damage spacecraft. Engineers would have to design new shielding and carefully plan satellite orbits to avoid collisions. Communication signals might also be disrupted. The rings could scatter or block radio waves, making it harder to maintain reliable connections. This means your phone calls, internet, and even television broadcasts might become less dependable. Weather forecasting could suffer too, since satellites rely on clear signals and sunlight measurements to predict storms and climate. But humans are adaptable. Think about artists inspired by the rings, capturing their shimmering beauty in paintings, music, and stories. New holidays might emerge, celebrating the cosmic bands that grace the sky. Ancient myths could be rewritten, with the rings becoming symbols of mystery and wonder. So, how would you feel living under the glow of Earth's rings? Would beauty outweigh the challenges? Would you welcome this cosmic change or long for the familiar sky you once knew? Visualizing Earth's rings. Then, let's bring this idea to life. See yourself standing in Quito, Ecuador, just before dawn. Above you stretches a vast ribbon of light, glowing with icy white and pale gold hues, at least 10 times wider than the full moon. These rings cast cool, shifting shadows over the city, bathing the streets in a soft, magical glow. As the sun rises, the rings sparkle like diamonds scattered across the sky. Their colors shift subtly as sunlight scatters through billions of frozen particles. At night, the rings reflect enough light to read by, turning the world into a dreamlike scene of silver and blue. Now, visualize traveling to London. There, the rings hug the horizon, sometimes hidden behind buildings but always present, a mysterious band of light that never quite sets. Or step is outstanding in Sydney, Australia, where the rings appear as a glowing arc opposite the sun, their colours deepening as twilight falls. Living under such a sky would be nothing short of breathtaking. The rings would become a part of your everyday life, inspiring awe and wonder. They'd influence art, culture, and even how you experience time and seasons. Science meets imagination. Let's talk about how Earth's rings wouldn't just be a cool space feature. You'd feel their presence in your daily life, in your culture, and in your creativity. Do you know how natural wonders have always sparked stories, art, and beliefs? Well, these rings would do the same, but on a cosmic scale. If you lived under those glowing bands, you'd probably see them as more than light in the sky. Ancient people might have thought the rings were messages from the gods or protective guardians watching over them. And you'd be part of a culture that builds myths and rituals around that constant shimmering presence. The rings would be woven into your stories, your music, your art. Basically, they'd become a huge part of how you express yourself. Artists especially would have a field day. Those icy rings, shifting colors and glowing softly, would be like a living canvas above you. You'd find yourself inspired to capture their beauty in paintings, poems, and songs. The rings blur the lines between science and imagination, pushing creativity to new heights. Living under Earth's rings wouldn't just change what you see, it would change how you think, how you create, and how you connect with the universe around you. It's a perfect example of science meeting imagination, turning facts into wonder. So, what do you think? If Earth suddenly gained rings like Saturn, would you embrace this cosmic transformation or long for the familiar sky you once knew? Think of how your daily life would change with shimmering bands stretching across the sky, casting shadows and lighting the night. Would the breathtaking beauty of the rings outweigh the challenges they bring, like altered climates and disrupted ecosystems? Share your ideas and feelings in the comments below, and very soon we'll take you on another incredible what-if adventure, maybe to a planet with 2 suns or a world where gravity is twice as strong as Earth's. So stay curious, keep looking up, and never stop wondering what's possible.